Top 10 villains of the year so far, 2023. No intro, let's do it. In 10th, I have the Marquis from John Wick. I think Bill Skarsgård is amazing. Super underrated actor. You might have thought the dude peaked at Pennywise as far as the villains go. It's pretty impressive actually, because there are so many villains in this movie, and despite there being a lot of foes for John Wick, the Marquis still finds time to shine. Performance, scenes, everything. He kind of takes the overall mastermind approach. He's not in the trenches with John Wick fighting, throwing fisticuffs, but he's still a lot of fun. He feels evil, the performance is great, and I love his role in the movie. Next up, we have Dr. Voller, Dr. Mr. Nazi from Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Mads Mikkelsen is proving himself to be one of the best modern day villain actors, and unfortunately, he keeps popping up in just okay or mediocre films, but I like this movie actually, and part of it is due to him as a villain. Mads Mikkelsen just has this force to him to where he feels intimidating. He can just shoot you a glance, and there's so much emotion, but also like not. There's a lot going on in his head, and I think that some of the Indiana Jones villains all kind of fall into like the same archetypes, but this guy is different. He has a very unique plan and motive that makes him stand out, and I really like that. In 8th, this one might be a little controversial because the movie's just fine, but he's the best part of the movie. It's Dracula, Nicolas Cage from Renfield. Like I said, the rest of the movie is fine. I enjoyed it. He is so much fun. It is a dream role of Nicolas Cage, and you can tell because the dude's just having so much fun. He's having the most fun in the movie. You can ask anyone that saw this film and they'll tell you the best parts of the film are when he's on screen. Yeah, because he's Nicolas Cage and like it's funny. There is some of that classic like Nick Cage acting you come to expect, but there also are some moments of genuine intimidation and just like good scary Dracula scenes. In 7th place, I have SpiderMan 2099 from Across the Spider-Verse. Yes, that's right, I'm gonna count him. I'm counting him, it's my list. And while his motive isn't anything particularly new for a multiverse film, Oscar Isaac is great. I love the design and just his interactions with all the other Spider people. A character who I think is just getting started too. I'm so excited to see where the next movie takes him. I think by the end of this trilogy, he's gonna be maybe, hopefully, one of the best Spider-Man villains, and that's saying a lot because it's a high bar to hit. Moving on though, let's stick to the superhero space. Let's go to the High Evolutionary, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Chukwudi Iwuji, I think, is phenomenal in the role. Sometimes the character gets a little like screamy, a little loud, but I think the performance is really cool, and this dude is just evil, man. You hate to hate him, but he also complements the story and themes and Rocket in particular really well. I just made a whole villain review on him, so I'm not going to get too much in depth on him, but if you want more thoughts on the High Evolutionary, check out my whole review and analysis of him. I'll put the link in the description. Moving on, we're sticking, okay, one more time, in the superhero space. Let's throw it to the Spot, the main guy from Across the Spider-Verse. Some people might be shocked to see the Spot this low on the list, but it's just 5's not low. 5's not that low at all. Top 5 villains, that's good. But kind of like with Spider-Man 2099, I think we've yet to see the best of him, and I think if I had to have a complaint, I can find a complaint. He's kind of just like thrown onto the scene. Okay, now here he is. I think Kingpin had a lot better setup, a lot better motivation. The motive of the Spot of like, I gotta prove I'm the real deal. Nothing super innovative, nothing super new. I still like it though. Jason Schwartzman is having a phenomenal year, and I think he's amazing in the role. He hits that perfect balance of like, he's funny, but he's also intimidating, and I love that growth for the Spot throughout the film. It's really cool. And then we're throwing it to the guy Bowser, a classic, Jack Black. I love him. The thing with Bowser is he is a perfect example of how to adapt a villain. Again, I have a whole analysis on him. You can check that out as well. I think Jack Black is phenomenal. He's funny, but he's also intimidating enough. The whole like Peach's song, the whole vibe, it's new and it's innovative, and they add a full fleshed out personality to Bowser, which we haven't really gotten before, but it still feels perfectly in line with the spirit of the OG game. He's like maybe the best character in the whole entire movie, if I'm being honest, and I really hope they bring him back in the sequel. They probably will, because he's such a hit. Jack Black just crushes the role. Top 3 time. Oh baby. Evil Dead Rise is a fun movie. It's far from perfect. It is not by any means a top 3 movie for the year so far, but Deadeye Ellie, dude, she steals the show. More than like any other villain on this entire list, she just puts the movie on her back. Everything that is amazing about this movie is because of her as a character. The performance is amazing, the design, everything about her, her voice, her scenes, a fantastic character. carries the movie. Not that the rest of it is bad, but she's just leaps and bounds the best part. She has so many cool scenes, so many cool lines, and I love that manipulative side of the Deadites. It somehow feels fresh in a Deadite, even though we're multiple films into this franchise. Really cool character. If you like horror movies, I recommend checking this out just for her. She's that good. A bit of a bummer she gets sidelined for the finale of the movie, but still, I love her as a villain regardless. You might be surprised that this guy doesn't have 2 villains on this list, but his other one didn't really make the cut in my opinion. A little disappointing. But in second, I'm gonna throw it to Damien Anderson, played by Jonathan Majors. Like Deadeye Ellie, Damien is the best part of the movie. I love the performance, how he's portrayed. Again, I'm a villain analysis channel. I got a whole analysis on him too. He is a great character for Adonis, and I love how it's the 3rd film in, and they don't try to necessarily top the physical intimidation of Victor Drago, but instead they up that emotional thread, that emotional connection. It's such a cool villain, such a personal villain, and I love that they finally gave Adonis like his own villain instead of somebody who's still just in the shadow of Rocky. I really liked how they took that step, and if this franchise continues, which I think it is, I'm excited to see they can still make new and interesting villains aside from the people connected to those OG films. Love that film, but in first place, we're going back to John Wick. I'm going to my guy Kane. Donnie Yen is amazing. This guy for me is kind of everything you want in a villain. I got the whole analysis on him too. Check that out. He is a physical threat. He's an emotional threat. I love how you bring this person in who we feel for and we understand, but we have to watch him go against John Wick. It is the best part of that movie. Donnie Yen is a legend. Some of these scenes are absolutely incredible, and I think he might be like the strongest character in this whole franchise, even surpassing John himself. He is a phenomenal character that I could watch his scenes all day, every day. I can't get enough of him. I love this movie so much, and he is like, he is the highlight of the movie. The last 3 villains, I know I've said that, but it's completely true. John Wick, he has a lot of cool scenes of him like kicking butt, but that's like every John Wick movie. The thing that makes this new installment stand out for me is the addition of Kane. Love him so much. That's the list. New villain review every single Monday. If you want another list, this is last year's list. Check it out.